So solving inequalities is almost the same thing as solving equations. So for the first one, the 2x is less than 4. 2x means 2 times x, so the opposite or inverse is to divide both sides by 2. And when we do that, we're going to get x is less than 2. Then I'm going to do a quick graph of this. We would make a quick number line. They'll usually be given to you. We're going to have an open circle at 2. And we're going to shade it the same way the letter's pointing, which is to the left, so this would go on forever this way. Now do note that if we had something like 5 is greater than y, we could flip the whole thing over to be y is less than 5. So keep that in mind. So the next one, negative 3x is less than or equal to 9. We're going to divide both sides by negative 3. Now, since the negative was on the same side of the letter when we multiplied or divided, we're going to flip the inequality symbol. So this is going to be x is greater than or equal to negative 3. Then I would make my quick number line. And this time, since we have it's or equal to, we have the little line underneath the inequality. When we make our circle, we need to color it in at negative 3. And then we're going to color it to the right. The next one is 7x is greater than or equal to negative 28, where we're going to divide both sides by 7. But in this one, we are not going to flip the inequality because the negative was not on the same side of the letter when we multiplied or divided. So we make our quick number line. We're going to close it in at negative 4. And then we're going to color it the same way the arrow's pointing. And I say that because the letter's on the left side. The next one is negative x is less than or equal to 2. This is the same thing as writing negative x is less than or equal to, negative 1x is less than or equal to 2. So we would divide both sides by negative 1. The negative was on the same side of the letter when we multiplied or divided, so we're going to flip the inequality, and it's going to be x is greater than or equal to negative 2. We have our number line. We're going to color it in at negative 2 because it's or equal to. This part always tells us if we color it in or not. And we're going to color it to the right. The next one, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is negative 5 over 2. Oh, sorry, that's negative 2 over 5. I did that same mistake in the last one. So we'll multiply both sides by negative 2 over 5. And the left one there, the negatives will cancel out. You have negative 2/5 times negative 5 over 2 is 1, so we have x. I'm going to flip the inequality. And I'll do this off to the side here, down the bottom right. That negative 5 is the same thing as negative 5 over 1. So when we multiply, negative 5 times negative 2 is a positive 10. And 1 times 5 is 5. So we get 10 over 5, which is equal to 2. So x is greater than or equal to 2. We make our quick number line. We're going to color it in at 2. And then we are going to shade it to the right. And for some reason, I've used a lot of inequalities here that are or equal to. It's only that first one. So I just changed it there for the 3m plus 4, and that's now going to be less than 12. So we're going to subtract 4. We get rid of the stuff that's on the same side, but not touching it. That's the positive 4, so the opposite or the inverse is subtracting 4. That gives us 3m is less than 12. 3m means 3 times m, so we're going to do the opposite. This time I'm going to use the obulus symbol. Divide by 3, and that's going to give us m is less than 4. So we would have, again, this time we're going to have a open circle at 4. We're not going to color it in, but we're going to color it to the left because that's the way the inequality is pointing to it. Now, the next one I would recommend we would distribute the 5 first. So 5 times x is 5x. 5 times negative 6 is negative 30. We'll rewrite the rest. So now we combine like terms. The 5x and the negative 6x make negative 1x. Minus 30 is greater than or equal to negative 1. I'm going to delete that stuff in the red box. Now I'm going to get rid of the stuff that's on the same side of the letter but not touching it. That's the negative 30, so I'm going to add 30 to both sides. That gives us negative 1x is greater than or equal to 29. Divide both sides by negative 1. And we are going to flip the inequality because the negative was on the same side of the letter when we multiply or divided. So we're going to have a closed circle at -29, and we are going to color it to the left. And this last one, I'm going to get rid of that just to make sure that we can do one more like this with an open circle. So we're going to add 5 to both sides first. Get rid of the stuff that's on the same side of the letter but not touching it. That gives us -5x is greater than 5. Then we're going to divide both sides by -5. And the negative was on the same side of the letter when we multiplied or divided. So we flip the inequality. That gives us x is greater than -1. So this would be an open circle at -1, and we're going to color it to the right. And if you have any kind of questions, please ask your math teacher.